Hi guys, coming at you. This is me, Rusty 78609 in Central Texas, USA, May 16th, 2016. I just wanted to give you a little tip on how to stay safe on the road in an RV and a Prius, particularly when you're traveling alone. You're a target, and when you're old and alone, you're a double target. And because you're the easy hit, the wolves always look for the old and the weak. And believe me, we got human wolves out there. What prompted this video was I had a comment from a viewer about camping at roadside parks, interstate roadside parks. Okay, and I know you've all traveled on interstates, whether you camped in a Prius, whether you're full-time RVing or whatever. They're convenient and they're there, and you've been driving for hours, and yeah, it looks like it's cool to pull in there and maybe nap for 2 or 3 hours or sleep overnight because it's free. Let me tell you, in my opinion, it's free. But I promise you, if you've ever been in those places, and I have, I don't go there anymore, and I have in the past probably 8 or 10 years. For the first few years when I was full-time RVing, I just slide right in there and maybe go in and use the restroom so I didn't have to fill up my gray water or black tank, whatever. And anyway, all I saw was a bunch of weirdos, man. I'm telling you, it just looked dangerous. And camping there overnight, I did try to sleep or take a nap one time at one, and I had a guy come up and knock on my window. You hear me? Knocked on my window. I was pulling a travel trailer with a pickup, and he knocked on the window. I had the window rolled up because it was a cool day, and knocked luckily. And yeah, he wanted to know where I was going and if he could hitch a ride. What the hell is that? Well, anyway, that was the end of the interstate camping, so to speak, or interstate roadside park camping. The second thing is, of course, when you're alone, and I am, now for you folks that are traveling in groups, you're not going to have many problems, if any. But for the lone wolves out there, you pull in to get gas somewhere and you pull back out on the road. Everybody knows who you are now. Everybody that was in that gas station knows who you are, whether you're old or whatever. In my case, it's old and alone. That's a double dip. And occasionally I've had people follow me. I have. I've had them follow me for several miles. In fact, I've had them follow me from the city of Pagosa Springs out to the campground I was camping. And when I pulled in to the campsite, now this is when I was camping in a Prius. This only happened 2 years ago. But yeah, I pulled into the campsite and looked where I was looking at campsites. Guy in a pickup followed me. I'm telling you. Well, when I was in the Peace Corps, we learned this, and we were trained on this: how to tell if somebody's really following you or they just happen to be going the same way you are. Well, what you do, and it works the same way in driving in a car, just at the next intersection or next block or whatever, take a left turn. Okay? If they're still following you, the odds drop to 50-50. Take another left turn at the next block or intersection. If they're still following you, the odds went up to 90%. Okay? If you take the third left turn and they're still there, it's a dead certainty you're being followed. Now, for what reason? Who knows? Could be just idle curiosity, but I don't like idle curiosity follow me around. Period. Period. So just remember, kind of keep that third eye open when you're traveling. And, when it only occurs, at least the only time I've noticed it is when I pull in to get gas or groceries or ice or something, whatever. If I'm camping in the Prius, I'll pull into a grocery store. And of course, I've got Texas plates on my vehicle and on my RV too. So they already know you're from out of state. And that you're probably just, quote, traveling. And, there are some people that might love to have your motorhome or your pickup or your RV or your Toyota Prius. And don't think that they won't get it. Has it ever happened? I don't know. I know some people were killed in the forest in Telluride, near Telluride, Colorado, while I was out there. I was volunteering at Hovenweep National Monument. And I drove over to Telluride one day and went through some of the national forests on the way and came back to Cortez. And later on that evening, I was watching or listening to the radio. I didn't have TV out there where I was, but I was listening to the radio news, and some campers had been killed. And what had happened was this: there were three guys, young men, that were camping, and they were driving down the forest road, and there was a guy in a pickup that said that he had a flat tire. That's what he had, a flat. And so they pulled over and helped him fix his flat, and he thanked them, and they left. Well, that night at their campsite, guess who comes walking up to the campfire? Flat Tire. Mr. Flat Tire came walking up to the campfire. And he pulls out, he sat there with them for a while. I think he drank a beer with them and thanked them again. And then he pulls out a 9mm pistol and just started firing. He killed two of them on the spot. The third one got away, and the third one went to a campsite, just was running through the forest, obviously scared to death, and stumbled into a campsite where a couple were camped, and one of the guys was a Marine on leave. He was armed, fortunately, and I'm for the Second Amendment 110%. But anyway, so he told the guy what had happened, and the Marine and him started heading back toward the campsite, but they told his wife to go to the park road where they could use their cell phone, because they couldn't use it at the campsite, weren't getting a signal, but they could about less than a quarter mile away. So she drove and called the park ranger first, then she called the 911 and got some people on their way to come out there. In the interim, the Marine and the guy went back to the campsite just to check and see if the guy was still there, and he was still there. And but anyway, end of story is they just made sure he stayed there. He didn't even know they were around, apparently. He just stayed there and went through all their stuff, took what he wanted, loaded it in his pickup. And while he was doing all that, he didn't realize that the police were in transit. And while they were waiting out in the forest watching him, the police show up. Well, they were directed to the site by the guy's cell phone. And yeah, they found it. They caught the guy. But anyway, it was just a random event. Boom. But anyway, can that happen? You know, I'm not trying to scare anybody, but you know, just be aware. And again, you know, for you people that are traveling in groups or even couples, you probably got, you know, a very slim chance of being bothered. But old folks like me, alone, oh, I'm telling you, any bum out there is thinking, boy, there's an easy target. So and for any of you that are traveling alone, young or old, but young, you got a chance to resist, or better chance. And any guy that's out there wants the easiest target he can find. Okay? And if you look like a strong young youth, he ain't gonna mess with you, because you might whip his ass. Okay? But be that as it may, I just wanted to post this tip because, you know, some people go camping and may not think of those things. But, you know, roadside parks, that's a zero. Camping on public lands is okay, but again, you got to keep your eyes open, because you get some real strange dudes out there. And when you're boondocking, I don't know if there's any problem there really, other than, again, there are some just strange things that happen when you're camping, I promise you. And so just stay alert. I take a weapon with me every time I go camping, and it makes me feel good just to have it, just to reach over and put my hand on it. Gives me peace of mind. So be that as it may, thumbs up to you guys. Enjoy your camping. Stay safe, though. This is Rusty 78609, Central Texas. Thumbs up, carpe diem, adios amigo. Bye bye. Chief say bye.